Oh, just say scrap.
Oh, just say scrap.
As something new.
As something new.
It's Make It Mondays just for you. So come and see what we are creating. Make It Mondays just for you.
Hello everybody, so today we are diving into Home for Christmas card making workshop. And as you see here, we're making the first card. There are 16 cards in this kit. I'm going to make one of each of the designs. So we are just starting to put this card base together, stamp that sentiment on the front, and then stamp these adorable stockings onto this piece of white daisy. So we are using the intense black ink there and then using some candy apple ink for that other stocking. We are actually pulling in our colored pencils once again. So these are our Bright and Vivid, and they really are wonderful to work with. As if you saw our Good Life scrapbooking video, we use them in that too. So they are great for shading. You will see a little bit more of the shading as the video goes on, but we are just using them for some little highlights on this card and then throwing this card together. So I'm using that mono glue, the liquid glue, to put on the branch here because it is a lot thinner, easier to use. You can use the dot glue that I am using on a scrap piece of paper or actually directly on the all-purpose mat, which is under my Versamat. But I just find it's easier to use that liquid glue to get where I need to go. As you see here, we are also using Stickles for this project, which Close to My Heart has brought back specifically for this. Since the old catalog, they are actually going to bring back certain products just for the 2-month period so they can actually use them in some of their projects. I also pulled in our paper crafting tool here just to make sure that the stickles are lined up how I like them. You see I fixed a few of those dots in that line. There was actually a bubble in it, so I popped it with it. And that is our first card. So we are moving on to our second one. These two cards, along with the third card, are going to be our normal card bases. So these are the 4 1/4 by 5 1/2, and our last one is going to be a slim line in this card set. I really love how Close My Heart has started to vary the different sizes that we use, which is awesome. For this stamp, too, I really like how they used this technique as well. So we stamped the original Gift for You on to our white daisy piece, and then we actually stamped it again on a scrap paper in red. And now you see I am actually taking a scissor, fussy cutting that out, and we are going to end up gluing it over that 4. And it's just another technique of making your stamps a little bit different. So once again, here we are back to our shading. This time you see that I am using the green very, very lightly. And as I get into the red color, you're going to see that I'm a little bit heavier handed with that. So that is one way to shade with these colors. You can actually physically shade with the same exact pencil too. As I said before, you will see this later on in the video, so make sure you keep an eye out for those spots. But just using these pencils, they blend together so nicely. They are very smooth to work with, and they just really make the highlights on these stamps really adorable. Actually, you can see a little bit right there also on the stocking. I tried to highlight where the toe and the heel are. So just a little bit of shading in these, but you will definitely see a lot more later on. What's also really nice about these stockings is you don't just have to make them red and green. Yes, this kit kind of highlights the red and green of Christmas, but you could totally take this kit and put it into any color that you want. If you like more of a pastel Christmas or a purple Christmas, anything like that, you can 100% take this card kit, find different papers and cardstocks and the different pencils and use it and make this exact kit just in different colors. So there's card 2, on to card number 3. So this one is also really, really fun because we actually had to work with triangles. So as you see there, I didn't like how that one lined up, so I pulled it off, which is great about our dot glue, remember, because it is permanent, but it kind of sets as it sits longer, so you are able to work with it a little bit when you first put it down. But we had those triangles and then had that little middle area where our sentiment goes, which I think is adorable. And then we are using some gems and our thin cut ferns, and we put those on with the liquid glue as well. I kind of just put a dot on there because the ferns were a little bit hard to kind of glue. They're very, very skinny. But looking at the instructions that Close to My Heart gave, I knew we were going to end up covering the ferns in that one spot, so I figured putting a little extra glue on it would not hurt us. So if you want to go back and actually look how I colored that stocking, you will see I did do some shading, and then we used our Stickles to finish up this card and make some beautiful sparkles. So that's card 3. Now on to card number 4. So what I really liked about this one is it is actually a checkered pattern, and the way that it's actually shown on the picture is that they overlap each other. So that's why I put down the long strip, then a skinny strip, then a long strip, then a skinny strip. It really did make it look like they were overlaying each other and kind of have that pattern that Close to My Heart wanted us to see. So I just love the little details that they also give in their directions and everything like that. I really feel that it brings their kits to a different level. So here we are once again now fussy cutting this little bow. Just some fussy cutting tips. If you see, I'm actually moving the paper only and not moving my scissor while I am fussy cutting. This is also to save your hand so it doesn't get as tired, but you actually get a more accurate cut if you are able to move the paper around and not your scissor. So I am a huge fan of fussy cutting, as you see here too with this dovetail. I dovetailed the Season to Be Jolly normally, but then I actually glued it onto the black paper first, and then I fussy cut around those 2 dovetail spots. And I just think that fussy cutting sometimes just makes things pop. I really love when you have a pattern paper and you can pick out a certain element and use it then as an embellishment. It really just adds a little bit to your projects and cards and everything like that. So if you are not a fan of fussy cutting, try it and tell me how you like it. I know I have converted some people into fussy cutters. So like before I was talking about our coloring and our shading with these pencils, here is a great example with this stocking. So you see I did do a little bit of a darker color on the outsides of the stocking here, and then I'm taking my pencil and lightly shading into the center. I am going back over some of those spots just to make sure that they do stay dark, but just look how adorable that looks. And you're going to see the exact same thing here in the bow. So darker on the outside and then lighter on the inside. So just some examples of how you can shade with these pencils. So we're just going to glue this bow on top of that fern and stocking. And here we go once again just with our Stickles, another thing that I absolutely love. I'm called the Stickles Queen. I just feel they add so much to every project. And you see I'm using our paper crafting tool just to make sure that that line is super straight. Close to My Heart does have in the directions that you can use a ruler, but I'm a little stubborn and I didn't want to use a ruler. I just wanted to freehand it. So that is card number 4. And here are all of our cards together. This is an absolutely adorable kit. I will admit when I first saw it, didn't love it, but after putting these together, oh my gosh, they are so, so cute in person. So we hope you enjoyed our Make It Monday, and we'll see you next time.